how do you identify the murder weapon, the item that gave the L-shaped wound behind her ear?
It's not in the public record, so we can't comment on it. I would just say, too, we talk about this investigation as if it's over. This investigation is not over. There's a long ways to go here. There's a lot of stuff for us to do. As soon as I get done with this conference, we're going to have a meeting. I imagine it'll go on for quite some time of the things that we have to do. I also firmly believe that there are still members out in the community who have information that would be relevant to this investigation concerning the relationship of the defendant and Jan, and we'd ask them to come forward and as well as be cooperative in this case. So there remains a lot to be done. This is just the beginning, really, of the process.
Where are the kids staying?
No comment.
Did you indicate? Have you found that what you believe to be the weapon, or?
I have no comment on that.
Craig, can you at least clarify that? Are they in children and youth, or are they with family?
They are not in children and youth.
Would you be opposed to bail for Mr. Roseboro?
There's no bail. Yes, would be the answer. Yeah. Anything else?
Craig.
Yes.
Anything to indicate this was planned out? Premeditated murder was a heat and passion thing?
Well, I think you can make your own conclusions based on what's public record and what you've been provided with. There's evidence in here that he had a motive to kill his wife, that he had an opportunity to kill his wife, and he took that opportunity. So that's going to be a decision for the finder of fact at the appropriate time, but clearly a public record here, yes.
And what was that motive?
What was the motive? Did you? Okay.
The photographer's angle right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
All right.
The viewer doesn't mean it either.
I understand. What's filed in this case is that Mr. Roseboro was having an ongoing affair with another woman in secrecy. He made indications that he wanted to leave his wife for this woman, and I think that would have been right within an hour or so of her death. He had indicated that, according to the affidavit.
Indicated to his wife? Do you believe that he told his wife?
I have no comment on that.
Can you talk to us at all? The initial call came in that this was a drowning. Police arrived on the scene. You see someone performing CPR. How important was it that some of the initial evidence collection and observation was taken so that this wasn't just proceeded on as a drowning, and you were able to make the conclusion that you made it?
Well, that was one of the challenges in this case from the beginning, was that it came in as a drowning. We had a 45-year-old woman in a pool. It was not greatly very deep. That doesn't happen too often, but she did not have, from what I recollect, we've released already, very many visible injuries, other than the one marked behind her head. So, although the circumstances were clearly suspicious, until we had the autopsy, which would have been done, I think, either the next morning, we didn't know for sure that this was a homicide. So, the scene was actually released back to the defendant at that time, and it would be speculation on anybody's part as to what was there, what wasn't there. I can tell you from the affidavit that there was a walkthrough done that night, and there was no evidence of a struggle or blood. That subsequent to that, when we did get the Major Crimes Unit forensic team in there, even with their technology, were unable to come up with any evidence of blood, which, as we filed in this, would be consistent with the murderer taking steps to clean up his handiwork, which, as we've said in the affidavit, is inconsistent with a random murder.
Do you think his profession, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Do you think his profession, as morbid as that might sound, may have, aided him in cleaning up this scene?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's certainly possible.
Did Michael say anything to police after he was taken into custody?
No comment on that. We're not allowed to.
Does he have an attorney?
Mr. Roseboro explained the wounds on his hand, his face.
We're restricted to what we filed in the affidavit. So, no, I can't do any further.
Who's his attorney? Do you know?
Yeah, but right.
Is there any evidence that, in other words, why he would have an incentive to kill his wife as opposed to just divorcing her? Was it some kind of financial inheritance or, prenup or anything like that?
We all would have hoped that that would have taken place instead of this.
The emails, just for clarification, she provided you with the emails? Okay.
Yes.
And you also, according to the search warrant, you seized some computers out of the Roseboro funeral home.
That's correct.
Okay. But the emails stated in here aren't emails from those computers, is that?
She provided us with the with some of the information, and as it's probably going on at this point in time, our forensic investigators are going through all the computers we've taken, and as we filed in here, I believe that to the extent that he had done the investigation, what he had been able to get to, his investigation is incomplete at this point, but he had found email correspondence. Our Detective Savage, who's our computer forensic specialist, had found email correspondence between the two of them confirming their relationship.
How long
it's
had
not
that
just from
her?
her.
I think so. I don't know if you answered how long this relationship had been going on, to your knowledge.
We have that information off the top of my head. It's been ongoing. I have that information. We didn't put that in the affidavit, other than it's ongoing. It's been more than.
I mean, we're talking
days.
months, years, or.
I'm just going to keep it with ongoing.
Did anybody hear anything? Neighbors hear a
No
scream?
comment.
Mr. Roseboro have counsel? Yep.
I believe he does, Mr. Sadomsky.
What's your reaction to this act?
It's this is a terrible tragedy. I mean, from everything that I've heard, the problem that I face in this job all too often is I hear about these people when it's too late for me to get to know them. And I've heard many positive things about Mrs. Roseboro. She brought 4 children into this world and was a mother and a parent to them. And by all accounts I know, I've heard, a good parent. And it's a terrible loss for the community. I owe a debt of gratitude, and our whole county does, to the dedication and the commitment that our law enforcement exhibited in this case in leading to this arrest. But as I said, this is no time for celebration. This is a nightmare for these children. Their one mother is gone. Their father is now in jail for this. And we've got a long process ahead of us. So I'll be more comfortable giving you more comments on that when our job is done, because it's far from complete.